One of the assignments you need to complete in week 1 or in lesson 1 if you're a summer student is the course study plan, and you're instructed to complete that in Excel. If you're new to Excel, this screencast is just a quick guide to help you get started so that you can get that assignment done. When you open up an Excel, if it's the first time, you're not going to have anything listed here under Recent on the left-hand side. But this is just a list of worksheets that you've worked on recently that you can then just click on to access if you need to get to them quickly. If you want to start a brand new workbook, you can click on this blank workbook option in the center. Or if you have a specific task and you'd kind of like to use what's called a template, which is just a pre-formatted worksheet designed to complete tasks. Like for instance, this one will help you with a family budget. This one will help you make comparisons with different loan options. But the option that we want to look at is some kind of student schedule. There is the student calendar here, but that might be a little bit more than we need. We just want to look at a weekly kind of schedule at a glance. So if you scroll down a little bit, you might see an option called student schedule. You can just click on it to open it up. If you don't see that, you can also type up here in the search box, student schedule. Click the magnifying glass to start searching. And Excel will look through its online templates and see what it can find, and it gives you a variety of options here. I'm going to go ahead and click the one that's just called student schedule. Click on that. It gives you just kind of a quick view of what that's going to look like, and then I'm going to click create. Now, this schedule's divided up into 15-minute increments, which maybe isn't ideal. I think I would prefer something that was maybe hour by hour, but we'll just make it work. Before we do, just a quick overview of the screen that you're seeing here. Up at the top here is what's called the menu bar. And on each menu bar option, there are different tasks that you can complete, indicated with text and pictures. Home is kind of where you want to stay. That's always where you're going to start, is the home ribbon right here. A ribbon is just these series of icons. Icons are little pictures grouped together with names according to the tasks they complete. So font refers to how the text looks on the screen. So you can change size, type, you can add color, etc. You're going to explore this quite a bit in your Chapter 1 activities in SimNet. But we're going to just look at a few basic commands to get done what we need to today. The other things to look for up here on the toolbar is the quick access toolbar at the top. And there's just a few little things listed there. This picture of the old-timey floppy disk from long ago is what you click on to save your file so that you can open it up again and bring it up and save and keep your work. And these others we won't worry about too much, except for this little handy guy is called the undo button. And so if you complete a task and you said, oops, I don't want to do that, click this little backward arrow undo, and that will take you back to where you were before. Another quick item to know is how Excel designates its cell addresses. If you'll look down here, you can see as I'm going down the rows, it's highlighting these numbers in green. These are the rows. Rows are go across this way. So I'm going to click on one. So I'm highlighting row 10. Okay, and all the rows are indicated by numbers. That's how they're identified. I'm clicked now on row 16. And then going across the top, we have the columns, the column designations. And they're going down the page. So columns go down, rows go across. And the intersection of the two, a column and a row, is what's called a cell. So right now I'm clicked in cell. Let's find one that doesn't have a strange formula in it. I'm clicked in cell C6, and I can tell that because I'm in column C, and I'm in row 6 right here. So if you look, if you want to double check what your cell address is, you can go up to here what's called the name box, and this little tip here below indicates, yeah, that's the name box. And you can see that I'm in column C and row 6. Okay, before I start entering in my the times that I'm going to study for CIT 110, I'm just going to show you how you can clear out some of these pre-added blocks of time here. And what I'm doing is I'm clicking in the top of this little green box, and then I'm going to hold down my mouse, or I'm going to hold down the track pad on my laptop, and I'm going to drag. And as I'm dragging, you can see that it is highlighting, or it's putting these cells inside a little box. Okay, that's called highlighted. It indicates to Excel, I'm going to do something to this cell or these groups of cells. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. Right clicking is done by clicking on the right side of your trackpad or clicking the right button on your mouse. And it brings up what's called a quick menu. So rather than going up to this ribbon I showed you at the top and finding the command that I need, the quick menu gives you quick access to some of the more common commands that you're going to use in Excel. And what I want to do at this right now is I'm going to do what's called a clear contents. So I don't want to delete anything. I don't want to remove rows. I just want to clear out what's already in there. So clear contents will take out that MTH-113 and the coloring too, or the shading in the cell. Okay, so that's been cleaned up. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just continue doing that across the row here. Again, I'm highlighting it by dragging, and then I'm going to do clear contents from the quick menu that I click by hitting the right of my trackpad or the right button on my mouse. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the rest of those. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in Tuesday at 9:15, and I'm going to put CIT 110. And I'm going to do that going down the line here. Don't worry about the little green arrows on the left. It doesn't matter. Okay. So it's not putting the text in, but it is putting in shading, which still indicates a block of time. So if you sent this to me, I would see, okay, between 9:15 and 10 a.m., this student is going to be studying for CIT 110. So I would go through and just highlight the blocks of time that you're going to study for CIT 110. And then again, you would just delete any of these others if you're not going to use those. And as you set your schedule, one thing to keep in mind is if you're in a semester, if you're taking this class during spring, winter, or fall semester, all the deadlines are going to be Tuesday night. So the guideline is, or the advice for the class is to try and complete all of your SimNet activities by Saturday. That includes the SimBook, the SimPath, and the exam. Monday and Tuesday are good times to work on the project, because as that Tuesday deadline approaches, SimNet can get a little bit let's say stressed, I guess, and sometimes technical issues can arise, or you'll have problems loading the simulators, your SimBook, your exam, your SimPath. And so it just makes it really tricky to get your work done, and it really slows things down. So that's why we recommend get those activities done by Saturday, and then on Monday and Tuesday, work on the project, which can be done mostly offline. Or when I say offline, inside of Excel, outside of SimNet. So you only need to download your project start file and your instructions from SimNet, work on your project in Excel, which will be the bulk of your time, and then really quickly, once you finish your project, upload it again in SimNet for grading. And just as a quick reminder, you can upload that project 3 times in SimNet. Okay? And your instructor will opt either to give you the highest score earned or an average of all the scores you received. Okay, so after you get your schedule inputted on the side here, you're going to set some study guidelines. And I'm going to delete this little object, which is called a slicer, and you'll be learning about that in Chapter 8, so stay tuned. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on it to select it, and you'll notice it's selected because there's little circles that border the edge of it. And I'm going to hit my delete key. Delete is probably located in the topmost right corner of your keyboard. Okay, that's gone. I'm also going to delete this as well. I'm going to click on it. Again, I have little circles to indicate it's selected, and I'm going to hit delete on that too. And that's just a little text box, and you'll learn more about that later also. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in the J column here, and then I'm going to type study guidelines. Hit enter to go to the next line. Okay, that kind of extended my Saturday column, and that's okay. We're going to do 1, put away cell phone. 2, we're going to say pray before I study. 3, avoid social media. 4, avoid studying on Sundays. And you can also, as I encouraged you, complete SimNet activities by Saturday. Make sure you type it right. Okay. So, and that's basically the gist of the assignment. You can make this more elaborate. You can make it even simpler. You can instead of using one of these pre-made templates, just use a blank workbook and make a very simple schedule. But the main point of it is just to kind of think about how you want to organize your time, set some guidelines for yourself, and also dip into Excel a bit so you can see what it's like and what you need to learn and feel comfortable with as you go through the class. Once you finish that, then we're going to save, and you can do that by either clicking on this little icon at the top, or you can click on the File menu option. And that's going to take you to what's called the Backstage view. Mac users, don't be alarmed. You don't have a Backstage view like this. The commands that are found in this Backstage view are kind of scattered through your ribbon on the main page, and that's just fine. Don't worry about that. For PC users, in the Backstage view, you'll find things like new to open up a new file or new workbook, open to open up a previously made and saved workbook, the save command, the save as. The difference between the two is the first time you go to save, you will do a save operation. You'll do a save as operation, and anytime after that, clicking save will just keep the same file name in the same location. If you need to do a save as, that means that you can change the file name and you can change the location. So anytime you need to make a change to a workbook, as far as the name or where it's saved, you can use the save as operation. You can also print from here and then close it out. These other options we'll learn more about later. So I'm going to go ahead and click save, and then I'm going to click browse to find the place where I want to save, and then I'm going to click student schedule and click OK. Alright, and once you have that, just make sure you know where you saved your file, and then you're going to upload it in iLearn, and then your instructor will grade it.